Kia ora, g'day, I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast through until the end of next week. So let's have a look and see what's going on. Not a lot. In fact, this is a pretty quiet video today. There's a few things going on around the edges, but inland, pretty quiet. There's a bit of high cloud, maybe a couple of isolated showers around, but most of the downpours are offshore at the moment in the tropics or well to the south around the Southern Ocean. The reason why? An enormous area of high pressure. And I say enormous because it is basically the same size as Australia. So that is the reason why it is pushing all the way back to the Indian Ocean, all the way up to the top end and all the way out into the Tasman Sea, keeping these southern areas in particular pretty calm and very dry. I'm well aware of the drought. We're looking for rain. Every time I do these videos, I'm always hoping something wet's coming along these southern states. But at this stage, it is looking very dry. Now, our Climate Watch update for all of Australasia, that is out later on today. We will take another look, but just a heads up, there isn't a lot of rain forecast, but we will show you which areas have got rain, which ones don't. That's in Climate Watch out later on today. So let's get into the forecast. Here we are on Friday. The big high is drifting very slowly along from around the western side of Bass Strait out to the eastern side as we go through the next 24 hours. Now, something we're going to notice over the next few days as the high drifts towards New Zealand is that the showers and the easterlies are going to carry on for a number of days along much of the eastern coastline. Most of it is north of Sydney or north of Port Macquarie, but yeah, these showers, these easterlies carry on. Now, as the easterlies blow across Australia, obviously they dry out, they heat up. When they curve around as a northerly, even more warmth coming in. So you'll be feeling some hotter airflows coming through the southern parts of Western Australia and then moving into South Australia over the next couple of days. Stays calm in the southeast. Canberra, for example, the ACT area, all the way down to Tassie, not a lot going on and not much happening up in the tropical side of things. As we go into Saturday, there is a little more energy up in the tropics, a few more thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms in there, and some wet weather kicks in north of Townsville to Cairns. Won't be very much in that area. Further down here, Grafton might be seeing some showers coming through, some downpours as well. But like I said, south of Sydney, not too much going on, but those warmer winds, they start to creep further eastwards. And at the same time, around Albany in the southwest, in comes the next cooler change. Southwesters blowing through for you. And they carry on Sunday. A few showers along the coast. Won't be very much, certainly not much from Perth northwards. You're seeing mainly dry weather there. A few showers and thunderstorms at the top end. More of those showers, easterly winds off the Coral Sea carrying on for Queensland, coastal sides. But even inland a wee bit, you may be seeing a few thunderstorms that pop up during the day. Keep an eye on that. Those showers carry on all the way down to about Port Macquarie. And as the high moves to New Zealand, you've got those warmer, windier nor'westers kicking in right across South Australia and now moving into western parts of Victoria and, of course, Tassie. Tassie's got the nor'westers blowing on Sunday. Now, on Monday, no real change except showers come into the west coast and the nor'west flow just moves a little further again over towards the east, further into Victoria. But not a lot is going on there, but you might notice the temperature's lifting because your airflow is coming from well north of you into New South Wales. Speaking of New South Wales, not much happening through the outback, pretty dry. Further to the east, around the hills and getting towards the coastline, you are seeing some wet weather coming through, especially on the border and up around the Sunshine Coast. Through the central parts, pretty dry, easterly winds. Like I always say, if I'm not talking about you, there's not a lot either happening or changing with your weather forecast. It's kind of a boring video to watch. You talk about nothing happening. So that's why I'm not talking about a lot of central areas, but easterly winds, dry conditions, and that picks up, gets hotter and drier over there on the west coast. Still got some downpours, severe thunderstorms to the north there, not very much, northeast of Darwin. And still those showers coming through around Cairns all the way down. Like I say, a few thunderstorms might bubble up inland for Queensland and maybe even to the northeast corner of New South Wales. Doesn't look so coastal, that sort of stuff. Looks a bit more inland. And the westerlies, they pick up across Tasmania once again. In fact, by Wednesday of next week, severe weather in Tassie possible with heavy west coast rain, strong to gale force westerlies. And the blue line here, that measures air thickness. So the air south of that is Antarctic. It's cold, cold stuff. So you might see a dusting of snow on the highest parts of Tasmania as we go through the day. The showers here that you can see, I know how much you want rain in these southern states as the drought gets worse and worse. Believe me, we are always looking for that rain chance for you. There's just nothing there at the moment. So we've got a few showers around, not much. You know, it's 1 to 5 millimeters. 5 would be okay. But yeah, most of these areas are right smack bang on the coast. You go inland, 50, 100 kilometres and it's completely dry again. Let's go through to Thursday of next week. So our final map shows another low coming into New Zealand to ruin our weekend as we go through there. That'll bring in some rain around Norfolk Island, so that's not bad, although someone wrote to me from there recently and said they've actually had quite a bit, so that's a good thing to know. Windy westerlies around Tasmania, some of that cold air just brushing Hobart. Further to the north, there is the next high, right in a place where most of you don't want it, smack bang over the Great Australian Bight and coming in over the top of Adelaide. So anticyclonic winds going around that means once again southeasterlies and easterlies for eastern areas, a few downpours at the very top, not much though, large dry areas. And of course, as those easterlies push out the western side, dry and hot for you. Here's the rainfall, 7-day rainfall map. Let's have a look at those downpours in the north here. Most of it is out at sea, but you do see around Cairns to Townsville, you got that chance of 100 millimetres or more. Fairly normal for this time of the year. Same story around the top end. In fact, the total's up there, 150 millimetres or more. Coastal areas, Sunshine Coast down to sort of about Port Macquarie, very borderline between getting 20 or 60. It's completely borderline there, so keep an eye on your local forecast. But all the areas in the pale blue, that isn't very much, and that's a large part of Australia. All right, here is the place of the day, Mudgee, New South Wales. I really want to go here. My friend Claire, who lives in Sydney, told me, she's a Kiwi who now lives in Australia. She told me that this is one of the coolest places she's ever been to in Australia. So I really want to get out here at some point. Look at the temperatures, higher elevation being nearly half a kilometre above sea level. I was a little surprised about that, but makes sense with the temperatures now, so that all lines up. Overnight lows, perfect for sleeping, 6 to 10 degrees. That's my favourite kind of temperature range in there. 18 to 23, kind of cool days. Autumn leaves coming out, really beautiful spot there in New South Wales. No rain for the next 7 days. That is all from me. Our Climate Watch update is out later today with the outlook for the rest of May. Otherwise, I'll catch you again next week.